Dear Grace, I wasn't going to do this today because I was going to do a live stream, but the internet's not working at home, so back to the park with this. And it's windy as fuck today, so this will probably be the noisiest whenever. Doesn't really matter. The behaviors of women who sorely lack self-care and self-love according to psychology. Let's see, is this going to be a Lachlan special? Or a Tina Fey special? Oh, Ava. Another bot. Another bought and paid for. Grace. 8 behaviors of women who sorely lack self-care and self-love according to psychology. Sorely. It's a heartbreaking truth I've had to face myself. I was not loving or caring for myself as I should. I was constantly on the back burner, always prioritizing others over my own needs. This realization came not through alarm bells ringing or dramatic moments of realization. It was more of a quiet understanding that something needed to change. Read on to understand the behaviors that signal the severe lack of self-love and self-care in women, according to psychology. This is a hard-hitting reality check, but it might just be the wake-up call you need. A hard-hitting hack spirit article. Number 1, always putting others first. We've all heard how important it is to be selfless, to give without expecting anything in return. But when this becomes a constant pattern with your own needs and desires always taking a back seat, it's a clear sign of lacking self-care and self-love. Allowing yourself to be consumed by others' needs and wants, often at the expense of your own, can be draining. It's like you're running on empty, but you keep pushing through, thinking this is what you're supposed to do. But this is far from the truth. Self-care isn't selfish. It's essential. If you find that you're constantly sidelining yourself for the sake of others, it's time for a change. You deserve to prioritize yourself just as much as anyone else. Not doing so is a behavior deeply rooted in a lack of self-love and self-care. Constantly seeking approval. This was a hard one to come to terms with. I found myself constantly looking for validation, seeking approval from others. It's like I was on a never-ending quest for a pat on the back, a nod of approval, or just a simple well done. I understand that. I would bend over backwards to please others. No, I don't do that. Exhausting myself in the process. It didn't matter what I wanted or needed, as long as they were happy, I thought I would be too. The truth is, seeking constant approval from others is a clear indication of lacking self-love. It says, if my own opinion about myself didn't matter unless it was mirrored by others. This constant need for affirmation from others is not healthy. If this is you, it's time you learn to approve of yourself, because at the end of the day, the most important who needs to love you is you. It's like a fucking Hallmark show. I used to wake up every day, rush through my morning routine, skip breakfast, and work non-stop. Lunches were often a grab and go, and dinners were late night takeout. Exercise? That was a luxury I didn't have time for. I wore my exhaustion like a badge of honor, thinking to show how dedicated I was. But in reality, I was just neglecting my physical well-being. We all do it sometimes. The constant headaches, the fatigue that wouldn't go away no matter how much coffee I drank. The way I always seemed to catch whatever bug was going around. They were all signs I was not taking care of myself. But it took me a while to accept it. It's easy to brush off physical health is less important when you're focused on everything else. In truth, neglecting my physical health is another glaring sign of my lack of self-love and self-care. It's a harsh reality to face, but one that needs to be addressed. Because if you don't care for your body, who will? That's what your body looks like. A lot of people probably care for a hot body. Just saying. Grace. That's a fact, not a sexist statement. But feel free to prove me wrong. Being a stranger to your own emotions. Here's something you might not know. Those who lack self-love and self-care often struggle with emotional awareness. No shit. That's so surprising. And I was no exception. I found myself often confused by my own emotions. I'd feel upset but couldn't pinpoint why. I'd feel nothing when I knew I should be feeling something. I don't really want to do this, Grace, but this is easier than walking. It drains me just as much, so what's the difference? As long as the calories are burnt, doesn't matter if it's burnt through the brain or through the muscles. Grace, it's a question. It was like I was disconnected from my own emotional state. This emotional disconnection isn't uncommon. In fact, it's a common behavior among those who lack self-care and self-love. How about just change it to self-acceptance? You don't have to keep saying it twice. You're so used to neglecting yourself that you've also neglected your emotional health. Not being in touch with your emotions is a sign of emotional unhealthiness, and that's not something to be taken lightly. Our emotions are part of us, and understanding them is a crucial part of self-care and self-love. Being your own worst critic. I used to replay every little mistake I made over and over again in my head. Every word I said that every word that I said that could have been taken the wrong way, every decision I made that didn't turn out perfectly, every time I tripped on the sidewalk. It sounds silly, but it was my reality. I realized I was holding myself to an impossible standard, one that no one else was expecting of me. T-ball starting soon, Grace. In fact, if anyone else had treated me the way I was treating myself, I would have called it cruel. This constant self-criticism, this unending loop of negative self-talk was a significant sign of my lack of self-love and self-care. We all make mistakes, it's part of being human. But harping on those mistakes, beating ourselves up over them, isn't healthy or productive. It's a behavior rooted in a lack of self-love and one that needs to change. Dismissing your accomplishments. No matter what I achieved, it never seemed good enough. The promotion at work, I could have done better. The successful project completion, I could have done it quicker. The compliments from friends and family, they were just being nice. I was stuck in a cycle of diminishing of my individual. I was stuck in a cycle of diminishing my own worth. I was focusing on the negatives and completely overlooking the positives. This behavior of downplaying my own success and accomplishments was not just harmful, it was a clear sign of lacking self-love and self-care. Self-acceptance. Recognizing and celebrating our achievements, no matter how small, is an integral part of our self-esteem and self-worth. Neglecting this is a clear indication that self-care and self-love are missing from our lives. having trouble saying no. I found it incredibly hard to say no, even when I was already overloaded with tasks or when I didn't want to do something. I was programmed to agree to everything, no matter the cost to my own well-being. This inability to set boundaries and constantly saying yes when I want to say no is a clear indication of my lack of self-acceptance. By not setting boundaries, I was allowing others to take advantage of my time, energy, and resources. It wasn't their fault. It was mine for not speaking up. But saying no is not a bad thing. It's a necessary part of maintaining our mental and emotional health. And it's an essential behavior in practicing self-care and self-love and self-acceptance. It's time we learn to say no without feeling guilty. No fucking way. No, 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 no. I don't feel guilty, Grace, do you? Not making time for self-care. This is perhaps the most telling sign of all. Not sure if that was sarcastic or mean. Maybe a little bit of both. Seven circumstances in life where the best thing to do is remain silent, according to psychology. Just 7? I'm thinking about 7 fucking million. Alright, Mia. 7 circumstances in life where the best thing to do is remain silent, according to psychology, by Mia Zhang. In life, we often encounter situations where choosing to keep quiet can be the wisest decision. These moments can be tricky to navigate, and knowing exactly when to hold your tongue can feel challenging. Psychology reveals that in certain instances, silence is indeed golden. This doesn't mean you're being dishonest or secretive. Instead, it means you understand that sometimes you're saying nothing at all can convey more than 1,000 words. Handling these situations isn't always easy, but having some psychological insights can definitely help. Let's delve into the instances in life where the best thing to do is remain silent, according to psychology. When you're angry or upset, ever been so mad that you can practically feel your blood boiling? Or so upset that you're on the verge of tears? A few times. In these moments, it's often best to remain silent. Psychology suggests that when we are overwhelmed by intense emotions, our ability to think clearly and make rational decisions can be compromised. This is because our brain's emotional center, the amygdala, is in overdrive, leaving the logical part of our brain, the prefrontal fuck. This is because our brain's emotional center, the amygdala, is in overdrive, leaving the logical part of our brain, the prefrontal cortex, out of the loop. Why the fuck is wind so fucking annoying? It's almost 7 o'clock at night and I'm still fucking grumpy. Grace. At such a stage, anything we say might not truly reflect our feelings or intentions. We might also end up saying something hurtful or regrettable. Staying silent gives us a chance to calm down and collect our thoughts before we communicate them. Of course, this doesn't mean you should suppress your feelings indefinitely. It's still important to express them, but in a composed and thoughtful manner. So when anger or distress takes hold, it might be wise to take a step back, breathe, and stay silent until you're calmer. When someone else is venting, well, I no longer give a fuck about the wind because there's nothing I can do about it no matter where I sit, so I just want to go sit in the fucking washroom. I don't think so. Just venting, Grace. Number 2, when someone else is venting, are you being quiet now, Grace, or are you talking? When a friend or loved one is pouring out their heart, it may seem like the best thing to do is offer advice or try and solve their problem. However, psychologists suggest that at times like these, staying silent, however, common sense suggests that at times like these, staying silent might be the most effective response. Simply being there and providing a listening ear can be incredibly therapeutic for the person venting. It also allows them to express and process their thoughts and feelings. rather than having them repressed or invalidated. Your silence shows respect for their ability to handle their own situations and find their own solutions. In these moments, your silence doesn't represent indifference or lack of empathy. It conveys understanding, patience, and compassion. So the next time someone opens up about their problems, remember that sometimes the best thing to do is say nothing at all. During a negotiation, silence can also be a powerful tool when you're in the middle of a negotiation. I feel like I'm negotiating with you, Grace. When the stakes are high and you're trying to get the best possible outcome, it can be tempting to fill every moment with persuasive arguments and counterpoints. However, silence can often work in your favor. When you stay quiet, it can create a psychological pressure that encourages the other party to speak, possibly revealing more information than they initially intended. I can confirm that one, Grace. People hate silence. If you force them to continue the conversation, they'll just ramble on and on and on about fucking anything and everything, because they just can't stand the silence. It's more than their psyche can handle. A lot of people are like that sober, but you get them drunk. How many silent drunks do you know, Grace? None. You just constantly blah, blah, blah. Now, most of that happens to be truthful, so it can be interesting. But I guess depending on what they're saying, it can probably be a little hurtful too. Depends on the drunk. This could give you an advantage in understanding your position better and crafting your next move. So during a negotiation, don't rush to fill the silence. Embrace it and let it work for you. Silence can be a strategic ally that helps tilt the scales in your direction. When someone else is grieving, when you don't have all the facts, when you're tempted to gossip, when your words will only fuel the fire. These are all pretty good, Grace. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Remember the power of silence. Here we go, Grace. Perfect. I'll clear my throat. Sound nice for you? Because I know that's all you care about. 10 Signs a Man Will Be Successful in Life, Even If He Hasn't Achieved Much Yet, by Ethan Sterling. I haven't seen Lachlan yet today. Maybe he's taking a day off. Lazy fucker. Success is a journey, not a destination. It's not about where you are now, but where you're headed. Sometimes you meet a man who may not have much to show for himself yet, but you can tell he's going places. How? There are subtle signs that hint at his future success. In this article, we'll explore 10 signs a man will be successful in life, even if he hasn't achieved much yet. These signs are clues to recognizing someone with great potential. Let's dive in. He's a constant learner. Actually, why is it just about men? This should be anyone. 10 signs anyone will be successful in life. It's a little sexist. Grace. He's a constant learner. Success isn't just about the destination, it's about the journey. And part of that journey is being open to learning at every stage. He may not have achieved much yet. I always have to find one fucking word I can't say. He may not have achieved much yet, but he's always keen to learn something new. Be it a new skill, a new language, or just a different perspective on things. He's all ears. This constant thirst for knowledge is not just a sign of curiosity, it's a sign of humility too. It shows that he acknowledges he doesn't know everything and is open to growth. Remember, today's learners are tomorrow's leaders. What fucking leaders do we have in this world? None. He's resilient in the face of failure. Let me share a personal story with you. Here's the personal story part, Grace. A few years back, a friend of mine, fuck, these people have so many fucking friends. It's amazing. A few years back, a friend of mine started his own business. Now, I won't lie, the beginning was rough. He faced countless setbacks and failures, and there were times when he felt like giving up. But he didn't. He picked himself up each time he fell, learned from his mistakes, and kept going. Today, his business is thriving. That's resilience for you. It's one of the most critical signs that a man will be successful in life. Because let's face it, life's not a smooth sail. Failures and obstacles will come your way. If this man can stand up after every fall, brush off the dirt, learn from the experience, and move forward, then he has a trait of highly successful people. He knows not to view failure as a dead end, but as a stepping stone to success. He's not afraid to take calculated risks. I mean, what's the difference between a man and a woman in this situation? It's the same thing. Just saying, Grace. He's not afraid to take calculated risks. Did you know the honey badger, one of the most fearless creatures on the planet, will take on predators much larger than itself? Just like the honey badger, a man destined for success isn't afraid to take calculated risk. He understands that without risk, there's no reward. This doesn't mean he's reckless. No, he weighs the pros and cons, considers the potential outcomes, and then takes a leap of faith. It's this balance of courage and caution that often propels him forward when others are too hesitant to move. He's a problem solver. Life is full of problems, but instead of complaining about them, successful people find solutions. He's a problem solver. Life is full of problems. But instead of complaining about them, successful people find solutions. Take the man in question. When faced with a problem, he doesn't shy away. He rolls up his sleeves and gets to work. He doesn't see problems as stop signs, but as opportunities to learn, grow, and innovate. This problem-solving approach shows his positive attitude and determination. It's a sign that he's not easily defeated and will use obstacles as stepping stones towards his success. He values relationships. No man is an island. We all need people around us, be it for support, camaraderie, or collaboration. A man destined for success understands this. He values his relationships and invests time and effort in nurturing them. He knows the importance of having a strong network and doesn't shy away from extending a helping hand. It's not just about being social, it's about empathy, understanding, and emotional intelligence, traits that are crucial for success in life. He has a strong work ethic. Success doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of consistent hard work, perseverance, and dedication. The man we're talking about here may not have much to his name right now, but he has a work ethic that's stronger than steel. He's the first one in, the last one out, always gives his best and never shies away from putting in the extra effort. I believe in the power of hard work. I've seen it transform lives, turn dreams into reality, and make the impossible possible. It's not about working till you drop, it's about commitment, discipline, and a never give up attitude. Sorry, Grace, but all these are just standard statements that everyone fucking uses. What would make this interesting is if they actually interviewed a person, a human, someone that's gone through all this. What a concept. Number 7, he has a clear vision. I remember when I was a young boy, I had this dream of becoming a writer. I could see it, the books, the words, the stories. That vision guided me through every decision, every step of my life. Similarly, a man who's going to be successful in life, even if he hasn't achieved much yet, has a clear vision for his future. He knows where he wants to go and what he needs to do to get there. His clarity of purpose is like a compass that guides him through the tumultuous journey of life. It'd be interesting to have the AI just search each and every one of these sentences and see how many matches it has in its database for the exact same sentence. How many times has one of these been written, or is this brand new? His clarity of purpose is like a compass that guides him through the tumultuous journey of life. I'm sure someone has said tumultuous journey of life before, but that whole sentence, I'm not sure. My fucking internet is working when I get home. I might just check it. This train's getting fucking louder. I'll go push the emergency button, have them all stop until I'm done speaking. And then we can start again. That conceited grace. His eyes sparkle when he talks about his dreams, his goals, his conviction and passion are palpable. This isn't just about ambition. It's about having a roadmap for his life. He knows how to rest. In a world that glorifies hustle and grind, taking a break might seem like slacking off, but the truth is, knowing when to rest is a rare and valuable trait. The man we're talking about here understands this. He knows that he's not a machine, and sometimes he needs to slow down, recharge, and replenish his energy. This doesn't mean he's lazy or lacks ambition, quite the opposite. He knows that to perform at his best, he needs to take care of his physical and mental health. He's adaptable to change. Life is full of surprises. Plans can change, goals can shift, and the only constant in life is change itself and wind. A man destined for success understands this. He's not rigid or stuck in his ways. Instead, he's flexible and adaptable. He knows how to pivot when necessary and adjust his sails according to the wind. This adaptability is a sign of resilience and open-mindedness. It shows that he can handle uncertainty and embrace new opportunities. 10. He believes in himself. At the end of the day, the most critical factor that determines a man's success is belief in himself. This man, not despite having, keep saying this man, find a fucking man and quote him. This man, this theoretical man, despite not having achieved much yet, has a rock-solid belief in his abilities. He trusts his journey, believes in his dreams, and knows that he has what it takes to reach his goals. This self-belief is more than just confidence. It's the fuel that keeps him moving forward, even when times are tough. It's the voice inside him that says, I can do this, when everyone else is doubting. Success is a journey, not a destination. Now that sentence has been said about 1,000,000 fucking times. Grace. 7 quirky habits that indicate an unusual high level of intelligence. Maybe this is my problem, Grace. Maybe I have too many quirky habits. Let's see. Should we bet on how many of these quirky habits I have, Grace? Seven quirky habits that indicate an unusual high level of intelligence. Talking to oneself. Well, I'm talking to myself through a phone, embracing messy workspaces, kind of, constantly doodling and sketching, never being a night owl. When there's something to do, yes. When there's nothing to do, no. Prolific reading habits. Well, I'm reading every day for a fucking hour, so out loud. Embracing solitude. I'm doing it alone, so engaging in mental exercises and puzzles. I think this is a mental fucking exercise. Case study. The quirky habits of Byron. Oh my god, an actual person. An article that actually features a person. pack spirit, take note. Assuming this person's real, not just fucking made up. Case study: The Quirky Habits of Byron. Byron, a 32-year-old astrophysicist, is always known was Byron, a 32-year-old astrophysicist, has always been known for his unique habits and brilliant mind. From a young age, he displayed an insatiable curiosity about the universe and a penchant for thinking outside the box. One of Byron's most notable quirks is he's constantly doodling. During meetings or lectures, he can often sketch intricate diagrams and equations in the margins of his notes. While seemingly random, these doodles usually lead to breakthroughs in his research. Byron's colleagues have learned to recognize the signs of his impending eureka moments. Another of Byron's peculiar habits is his love of late-night work sessions. He finds his mind is most alive and creative in the quiet hours after midnight. His office is often the only one illuminated in the research center as he works tirelessly on complex calculations and theoretical models. The solitude and stillness of the night allows him to think deeply and make connections that might elude him during the bustle of the day. Probably doesn't have any wind in his office either. Despite its brilliance, Byron is known for his humble and reflective nature. Sounds like me. Humble and reflective, Grace. He values time alone to contemplate the mysteries of the cosmos and his place in it. His colleagues often find him lost in thought, staring at the stars or scribbling ideas in his well-worn notebook. He's an astrophysicist. Shouldn't he be staring at the fucking stars? Just criticize you for anything. In these moments of solitude, Byron's true genius shines through as he unravels the secrets of the universe, one quirky habit at a time. No offense, but we really haven't unraveled many secrets of the universe for a long fucking time. Grace. It's the time of the day where the trains seem to get louder. Key takeaways. Talking to oneself is not a sign of insanity, but it can be a hallmark of high intelligence, and it helps clarify ideas and strengthen memory. There you go, Grace, I'm not insane. Embracing a messy workspace can boost productivity and encourage unconventional thinking by helping intelligent minds make unique connections. Blah, blah, blah. Conclusion. Don't care. 5 ways to keep your mind sharp. Hopefully this is one of those slideshows. Grace. Five ways to keep your mind sharp. I'm not even gonna try that. Number 1. Mental awareness is crucial, serving as the foundation for personal growth, resilience, and well-being. It empowers individuals to manage stress, regulate emotions, and make informed decisions regarding fostering a fulfilling life. Number 1. Mindfulness meditation. Dedicate a few minutes each day to mindfulness meditation. Focus on your breath, sensations in your body, and your thoughts passing through your mouth. I might have had too much coffee today, Grace. I'm gonna blame the coffee anyways, not everything else. I wouldn't even be able to speak on those trains, they're so fucking loud. You wouldn't hear a single thing. Tell me that doesn't cause a bit of mental disturbance. spend 8 hours in the office and have to ride home on a noisy fucking train like that. It would drive me nuts. But according to the other thing, I'm not insane. Limit distractions. Number 2. Minimize distractions in your environment, such as electronic devices or noisy surroundings, to improve concentration and mental clarity. And no wind. Journaling. Keep a journal to reflect your thoughts, feelings, and experiences, allowing you to gain insight into your inner world and track patterns over time. And then run it through ChatGPT or another AI. Number 4, connect with nature. Spend time outdoors in nature to promote relaxation, reduce stress, and enhance mental clarity and awareness. Number 5, engage in creative activities. Explore creative pursuits such as art, music, or writing to stimulate your mind, promote self-expression, and enhance mental awareness. And with that, Grace, I think I'm going to call it quits. Yes. Alright, one more. 10 phrases you'll never hear a genuine person say, according to psychology. Alright, Grace, so I'm going to move to the swing, which is going to make this even noisier. But I can swing while I speak. There you go, it's a man swing. Not a people swing, a man swing. Only for men. If I get sick, Grace, it's your fault. 10 phrases you'll never hear a genuine person say, according to psychology, by Isabella Chase. Ever come across someone who's just so refreshingly real? They're as honest as they come, and their words always match their actions? I think I need to send a complaint. Transit. That can't be fucking right. Or maybe I'll just rent a weed sprayer and I'll fill it with WD-40, and then as the train comes up to the tracks, I'll just spray all the fucking wheels. Take care of this problem myself. Who needs complaints? Take direct action, Grace. Alright, let's see if we can get 30 seconds without a fucking train. Ever come across someone who's just so refreshingly real? They're honest as they come, and their words always match their actions. We've all met the other kind too. Folks who say one thing but do something entirely else. Do something else entirely. Harder to read when you're swinging, Grace. Ouch. Alright. Can be a real head scratcher, right? Figuring out who's genuine and who's not. But hey, guess what? Psychology's got our back. In this piece, we'll explore 10 phrases that you'll never hear from a truly genuine person. Chances are you're going to learn something new about what makes a person truly genuine. Number 1, I'm always right. A truly genuine person understands that nobody is perfect. Everyone makes mistakes, and it's part of being human. An authentic person doesn't have a problem with admitting that they're wrong. They value honesty over protecting their ego. So if you hear someone frequently claiming, "I'm always right," you might want to question their authenticity. We needed psychology to figure that out. Pretty sure it's called common sense. Again, psychology is just common sense that people don't want to fucking participate in. A genuine person knows that learning and growing often comes from recognizing our missteps and working to correct them. Number 2, I don't care what others think. Why is that a bad thing? It doesn't make me less genuine. It makes me extremely genuine because it's honest. I don't care what others think. If I did, I would fucking well improve the audio of this podcast and stop saying fucking every 5 fucking seconds. Although to be fair, I don't give a fuck, so I don't care what others think. Why don't we change it to I don't give a fuck what others think? Swing isn't calming me down, Grace. It might be riling me up. Well, it's true that genuine people value their own opinions over others. They don't completely disregard what others think. They understand the importance of empathy and considering others' perspectives. If someone is always dismissing the thoughts and feelings of others with a wave of their hand and a casual, "I don't care what others think," they may not be as genuine as they seem. Real people know that building strong relationships often involve caring about and understanding the viewpoints of those around them. Number 3, I don't make mistakes. Genuine folks are okay with making mistakes. They see them as opportunities to learn and grow. On the contrary, those who always insist I don't make mistakes may be focused on appearing perfect rather than being real. I remember a time when I was working on a project with a colleague. No, colleague, not a friend. That's good. Finally a piece of... Well, this isn't Hack Spirit, but they're similar. These two sites both follow a formula. I remember a time when I was working on a project with a colleague. I made an error in one of our reports. Instead of hiding it, I owned up to my mistake and we worked together to fix it. Afterwards, my colleague told me she appreciated my honesty. In her previous team, people would rather point fingers than admit their own slip-ups. That experience taught me that admitting mistakes doesn't make us less competent, it makes us more human and relatable. I don't need anybody's help. Genuine people understand the value of teamwork and aren't afraid to ask for help when they need it. They know that everyone has strengths and weaknesses and it's totally okay to lean on others sometimes. People who always insist, "I don't need anybody's help," may be trying to appear independent at the expense of reality. They might be masking their own insecurities or fears of not being good enough. In fact, those who ask for help are generally perceived as more competent, not less. Asking for assistance when you need it actually shows a self-awareness and willingness to learn, traits that are often associated with genuine individuals. I don't have time for this. Genuine people value their relationships and connections. They make time for the people in their lives even when life gets busy. If someone is always saying, "I don't have time for this," they might not be as authentic as you think. Genuine people know that life isn't just about work or personal ambition. It's also about the connections we make with others and how we mature or nurture those bonds. After all, at the end of the day, it's the relationship we've built and the lives we've touched that truly fucking matters. So if someone is always too busy to lend a hand or listening ear, they might not be as real as they appear. Well, I finally got a little rhyming in there. Number 6, I know everything. All these really just sound like a teenager. Someone who's truly genuine knows that they have all the answers. They're continuously open to learning and growing. However, those who frequently boast, "I know everything," may be trying to mask their insecurities or impress others. I remember a moment from my school days when I thought I knew everything there was to know about a certain subject. I was quite proud of myself until a new teacher came along and introduced concepts I'd never heard of. At first, I felt embarrassed and defensive, but then I realized it was an opportunity to learn something new. It was a humbling experience that taught me there's always something more to learn, no matter how much we think we know. Genuine people understand this and embrace the joy of continuous learning. I just realized why these lists are so full of shit, Grace. I don't need to apologize. Let's be real here. We all mess up. We all have moments when we say or do things that hurt others, even if we didn't mean to. Genuine people get this. They aren't afraid to say, I'm sorry, when they're wrong. But then there are those who think they're above apologies. Those who always insist, I don't need to apologize. They might think saying sorry makes them look weak or that it's admitting defeat. But the truth is, refusing to apologize doesn't make you strong or powerful. It just makes you seem stubborn and unapproachable. I think that's probably how most people describe me, stubborn and unapproachable. Or a jerk. Or difficult. Or an asshole. Or whatever, I don't give a shit. Genuine people understand that apologies aren't about winning or losing. They're about respect, empathy, and maintaining healthy relationships. They know that saying sorry when it's due is a sign of strength and humility, not weakness. Number 8, I'm better than everyone else. Genuine people do not see themselves as superior to others. They know that everyone has their own unique strengths, weaknesses, experiences, and journeys. They respect the individuality and value of every person they meet. If you hear someone constantly saying, I'm better than everyone else, it might be a sign they are not as genuine as they seem. Individuals who frequently belittle others or view themselves as superior are often driven by their own insecurities and low self-esteem. In contrast, truly genuine people are more likely to exhibit traits of humility and more accepting of others' differences. As long as I don't swing, the swing's okay, Grace. I'm just rocking back and forth gently like a insane person in a psych ward. I'm going to get AI to analyze all these train sounds at some point. Determine decibel levels, time of day, the whole schmeal. Then I'll send that to the transit company and say, what the fuck's up? Number 9, I don't have any weaknesses. Being genuine means being honest, even when it comes to our flaws and weaknesses. Those who proclaim, I don't have any weaknesses, might not be as genuine as they appear. I still remember the day I realized that admitting my weakness doesn't make me weak. It makes me human. I used to dread job interviews, especially when they'd ask about my weaknesses. I thought I had to present myself as perfect. I thought I had to present myself as a perfect candidate with no flaws. But one day I decided to be honest and shared a real weakness of mine, my tendency to overthink decisions. Well, that's a humblebrag weakness. To my surprise, the interviewer appreciated my honesty and said it showed self-awareness. It's a good thing this isn't GTA 5, Grace, or I'd go put myself in God mode. Load up the rockets. Take care of those trains before they get close to me. I'm just saying, Grace. If this was GTA, I wouldn't do that in real life, of course. Rockets are too expensive. That day, I learned that acknowledging our weakness can be a strength in itself. Genuine people get this. They aren't afraid to be real, even if it means showing their vulnerable side. Number 10, I don't need to change. Change is a part of life. It's how we grow, learn, and become better versions of ourselves. Genuine people understand this. They're open to change and are always looking for ways to improve. But then you have those stubbornly refusing But then you have those who stubbornly refuse to change. Those who always say, I don't need to change. They might think they're perfect just the way they are, that there's no room for improvement. But let's face it, no one's perfect. We all have things we could work on. Genuine people know this. They aren't afraid to look in the mirror, see their flaws, and do something about it. The truth is, refusing to change doesn't make you strong or stable. It just makes you stagnant. Real growth happens when you're brave enough to recognize our faults and make the necessary changes. Well, I think that's close enough to an hour. We could do this other one, but 10 Habits of Unsuccessful Men who never forward in life, never forward in life, move forward in life, trying to say, who never forward in life. It's a real dumb way of saying it. Let's go through these quick, Grace. Fear of failure, lack of self-discipline, negative mindset, resistance to change, poor time management, ignoring personal well-being. How many lists is that one on? About a million. Not asking for help, avoiding discomfort, lack of goal setting, not learning from mistakes. Alright, that's it, Grace. Talk to you tomorrow.